Hey there, welcome to Get Business Credit YouTube channel. This is a live. Can you guys hear me okay? Give it a few minutes. I had to change my audio settings. Want to make sure you guys can hear me okay before I start. How's the audio? You guys put it in the chat section. Hi, Anita. Let me fix my camera here. How do I adjust my audio settings? Because I got a new Rode mixer. Okay, it's been a little while since I've done a live stream. I was gonna do one last week, but had some audio settings issues, so didn't get able to do it, and it got too late. Anyhow, if you guys have any questions, any business credit Q&A, that's what this live is about. So put it on the chat section, and I'll get to those. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update because I've been doing a lot of consults lately, and there's a lot of bad mixed information being put out there constantly, even in 2025. Still, a lot of bad information is being put out there, and I just hope, at some point, other content creators stop putting this old bad information out there on YouTube. Still, so many people think that Dun & Bradstreet 80 PAYDEX score is important. It's not at all. I don't want to say neglect it 100%, but it's not important at all. A lot of my students, they're getting approved without having more than, say, a NAV and e-credible trade line reporting on Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet's rarely used nowadays. All right, so I'm going to start off first what should be focused on the most when it comes to building your business credit. Okay, understanding what underwriter, what type of goals you have. So if you are trying to get, say, a Sam's Club MasterCard, understand that that's now personally guaranteed now, although it's not going to report on your personal credit, but you could get a hard inquiry. There's ways around that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But most all Synchrony products are now personally guaranteed. Lowe's is still not, but there's a few factors that go into that. But first, let me pull it up here, the Experian. So if you're trying to get, say, industrial supply, like let's say where Dun & Bradstreet would be relevant, say Granger, or say you're trying to get net 30 terms with like a spring manufacturer or a chemical company, that's when Dun & Bradstreet's going to be important. However, like 99% of people trying to build their business credit up, and that are the reason why they're trying to build up their business credit is to get working capital, or like no PG business auto loans, fleet of vehicles, and whatnot. So if that's the case, if you're trying to get, I don't know, like I have one student that got 10 G-Wagons in Beverly Hills, and he's doing a thing with American Express and executives where they do contract work and they get paid 30 days later. It's kind of like Uber Black, but kind of on steroids at that point. But he was able to get, after 7 months building his business credit up, he was able to get through Ally 10 G-Wagons brand new. And that was basically a line of credit of 2.5 million through Mercedes, or not Mercedes, but through Ally. Mercedes wasn't able to approve him without putting down like 200 and some $1,000. He was able to put down only, I don't want to say only because it's still a lot, but about 140,000 for a $1.9 million line of credit through Ally for the 10 G wagons. But what we focused on the most to get that approval was building up Equifax and Credit Safe. So that's important when it comes to understanding what your goals are. So don't blindly just get any trade lines, because if you get a whole bunch of different trade lines in a short amount of time, that's going to actually negatively affect you. Some underwriters will look at you suspiciously. It'll look like a red flag that you're purposely trying to do something, so you want things to look natural. There's no shortcuts in 2025 that you should be taking at all. There's ways to speed up the process, but getting like 2 NAV accounts and 2 eCredible accounts, it's like, it's not going to make a difference. And the underwriters and the bureaus aren't stupid. They know what you're trying to do. So just avoid that altogether. But back to my point, sorry, I have ADHD, you guys know. But if you're trying to get vehicles, no PG, or say equipment leasing, then you do want to focus on building up your Equifax and your Credit Safe. I'm not saying neglect Dun & Bradstreet and Experian, but that should be your primary focus, because 98% of those underwriters, that's who they're pulling to make their decision factoring. Now, if you're like most of the students I have, where you're trying to get, business credit cards, working capital, draw lines, revolving lines, then you need to focus on your Experian. Experian's the only bureau that actually has the small business FICO score. That's a blend between your Experian business credit scores and and I should say not just scores, but history, and the business owner's FICO, personal FICO. That's how that score is made up. So, however, that's not really used. The small business FICO score isn't used unless you're trying to get like an SBA loan. So if you're trying to get an SBA loan, regardless, not just SBA loan, any type of working capital, draw line, there's 2 main things that's going to be looked at. One, some of the underwriters are going to be doing soft pull on your personal credit. And 2, if you're Experian business credit, okay? So it's very important to focus on your Experian. I'm going to show you guys on Experian. Okay, so this is a sample report. And you guys put the questions in the comment section. I'll get to that after I go over this real quick. I'll get to your guys' questions. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't have this already, like if you just have NAV and you're trying to build up your business credit, go over to smartbusinessreports.com. Again, that's smartbusinessreports.com, but /Brex, BREX. In fact, let me put it here. Because if you just go to this link, this is Experian's direct site, but if you just go to this, you're going to have to pay $199 a year versus the Brex link gets it to you for half off. Okay. So go to that, and then you're going to put in your company, look it up, and then you're going to see if it has trade lines or not, and then just proceed. Basically, you're going to see, let me think where I have it here. You're going to see like this, where it's, you don't want to do the Profile Plus or the valuation report. You want to do the Business Credit Advantage, and it's just a one-time fee of $99.50. It's normally $199. And what's nice about that is you're going to get like the 4 digits of the account number, so you know which account it is that's being reported, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you're going to see the small business financial exchange risk rating. That's actually very important. The PAYDEX score with Dun & Bradstreet, and even Experian's Intel score. I want everybody to stop focusing on scores. Scores are not important. most of the approvals I got, back when I started the channel, wanted to show everybody years back, my scores were not, good. It's not because, I had bad business credit or anything. It's just I didn't have a whole lot of trade lines. And then I started realizing that it's not about like the quantity of trade lines. What you should focus on is just building up proper business credit and trade lines that you can actually use. Don't just get random trade lines just to get them. It's pointless and actually can hurt you. But this is what you want to get because so you can see your financial stability risk rating. There's the Intel score and the financial stability risk rating. The financial stability risk rating is by far more important than any other score. I'll show you that here. Okay. So here's the two scores. This is the Intel score, your experience. So this would be comparable to Dun & Bradstreet's Paydex score. It goes from 0 to 100. It's don't get hung up on it, okay? But this is more important, these two scores, which is the Experian Financial Stability Risk Rating and the Small Business Financial Exchange Risk Rating as well. Now, this goes from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst, 1 being the best. You want to ideally be at 1 or 2. And this is factored in on a few different things I'll show you in a minute. But sorry, guys, I'm still getting over a cough. But this is a sample report. This is what you're going to see basically for your business information. You want to make sure that the name here is matching whatever is with the Secretary of State where your business is registered. So this is LaSalle Medical. You want to make sure it says like LLC or whatever it is if that's what's being reported or that's what's on your Secretary of State listing, INC, whatever it may be. But then you want to make sure the address is correct. Make sure that everything matches across the board. These little things do matter, like 18 Fletcher AVE, abbreviated for Avenue. Whatever's with your Secretary of State, how it's listed, that's how it should be. And you want to, check this across the board, all three, I should say 4 bureaus, but you want to make sure everything matches. There's no like Boulevard spelled out. If it's on Boulevard, BLVD, you want everything to be formatted correctly across the board. Okay. And then if it says like suite and then on one bureau and then another bureau, it's STE, you want everything to be matching 100%. If it doesn't, it's not a make or break thing, but as much as you can, get everything formatted the correct way so everything is consistent. That's very important. And if you have multiple files, sometimes you have like say an iPostal address. If you have an iPostal address, stop right now. Like you can text me, the number's there, 937-423-9954. And we can do a free phone consultation. But I can tell you right now, if you have iPostal and a Google Voice number, either or, that's not going to be good when it comes to you trying to get serious business credit, and even some virtual addresses, some are okay. They just have to be like premium locations and have low address risk rating, So you definitely don't want to Google if you have your business address in Google and it says like, just Google like the business address. And if it comes back like iPostal, it says iPostal virtual office or something, and a whole bunch of like things, UPS store, things like that. That's a red flag, and that's not going to do good when it comes to getting the PG business credit. But anyways, back to the report. You want to make sure your phone number, sometimes your phone number is not going to be listed in there because when they first established your BIN number, business identification number, that comes, they create that from the data from LexisNexis. LexisNexis grabs that data pretty much daily. They're crawling that from the different state websites, the public record information. So that's how they originally create that business identification number and or through trade lines. But you want to make sure that the phone number is correct. Sometimes it's not. And then you also don't need to really worry about this as far as has been operating as. It's not really that big of a thing. And then you're probably not going to see the headquarters, subsidiaries, stuff like that. You might see a registered agent possibly here. But the most important thing is it's not here, but you'll see it. You want to be able to add your rich filmographic data. So rich filmographic data is going to be your business email address. You want to make sure it's not a free email address like a Gmail. You want to make sure it's like you have a website too. And for those that like not sure about how to go about getting a website, in the link in the description below, I have this company that I've been working with. It's only a $79 one-time fee. They guarantee your website up within 7 days, and then it's just $16.99 a month after that. And that covers like your hosting, email, all that. And there's very nice websites too, and they'll do a custom website for you. So you want to look credible, to the underwriters. So you want to do an update with Experian, which usually there's a link here, and that link will allow you to update the details. But you want to have your email address and your business website address, ABC Plumbing or whatever it may be, .com. And you definitely don't want to use like cheap domains like .info and .xyz. That's very bad. It actually can work against you because it shows that you're literally paying for a $1 or $2 a year domain low-level extension. So you want a .com if all possibilities. And not .org either. Don't get a .org because a .org is basically, unless you're a nonprofit, there's no point to have a .org. And be careful, you guys, too. If you haven't started a business yet and you're thinking about starting a business, reach out. Just text me, 937-423-9954, because I have quite a few of my students that they joined prior to them forming their business, and I help them avoid making mistakes like picking high risk, like business name. You want to have a very broad name. Like this, it says LaSalle Medical. It's pretty clear it's something medical. And then by default, LexisNexis and Experian is doing NAC and SIC codes as general medical surgical hospital supply. So if you put like investments or trucking or real estate, those are ones that you want to stay away from. You don't want that in your business name at all, because that's going to definitely get you high risk industry codes. Not just that, when you do applications, no PG, especially like the different fintechs, some of those you won't even get a fair chance to get your application or the underwriter to review just because of the fact that you're in a high risk or a flagged industry. So you want to avoid investments, trucking, and real estate. Now, if you have some of those, there's some workarounds, but it's still, if all possible, if you're just starting a business, be very vague. For instance, you could use like, Olympus West Solutions LLC or Preston East Solutions, something like that. Something very vague that, the underwriter's not going to know what type of business you're in, But also you want to put key personnel. So you would put like CEO, and then you could use your wife or husband or secretary too. It's always good to have two key personnels, all right? Let's see here. And obviously you want to have the right industry codes and not general ones. You want to have like very narrow ones that are down to your, like for instance, give you a little example here. There's just trucking, right, for an industry code or transportation. That's higher risk than say medical transportation. So you want to pick one of the subcategories within that industry, always. And even if it's not quite 100% of what you're doing, it's still within the transportation industry or whatever industry you're in. You just do a subcategory code. Because those are going to be lower risk always than just flat out the general one because everybody uses the general main code. So again, ignore the Intel Experian code. I mean, score. It's not important. If you just focus on scores all the time, you're not going to get very far. And when it comes to business credit, you're going to be wasting time and spending way too much time and energy on perfecting the score. But look at this, everybody. You could have a 80 or 90 paydex score, 80, 90 Intel score, just after, say, 2 or 3 months of getting fair figure, eCredible, NAV, and, say Uline or something, right? After you have that for 2 or 3 months, you're going to have like 80 or 90 paydex score, 80 or 90 Intel score. But then go try to apply for like business credit, like a no PG line of credit of some sort. You're not going to get approved. It's like the score doesn't really matter. The financial stability risk rating, that does matter. But when you're just starting off, the scores don't matter. And even long-term, the scores don't really matter. Like I got a Divvy 150,000 line, and I was only in business at that time for that business. And this was back in like 2020 when Divvy first launched. But it was like I only had like NAV and eCredible, I think. And I think I had the Synchrony ConocoPhillips gas card. That's all it was reporting, but my score was like 30 something. 36, I believe, and I was able to get approved. But my financial stability risk rating was like 1. So don't focus on this score because the score is not going to be looked at very, detailed at all. In fact, depending on what underwriter it is, they're not even going to see the scores. Sometimes they don't see even the scores. It depends what plan they have as an underwriter with what bureau they're pulling from. And if they're pulling from Experian, they have to pay for how detailed the report is when they're pulling. So if they want to see like everything, that's usually not going to be looked at unless it's like a SBA lender. So a lot of times like they're not even going to see these scores. So what you're seeing is different than what the underwriter is going to see. So, and why I say just to focus on your financial stability risk rating, even if underwriters don't even see the scores, that's still going to basically represent if you're doing something wrong in the overall business credit trade lines and your profile. Okay, so you want to have your quarterly, like this is very important, quarterly payment trend. So that's the last 90 days. That's why my one-on-one business credit mentorship starts at 12 weeks. I don't do anything less than 12 weeks anymore. Just because it doesn't matter if you're established or new, we still need a solid 3 months of building up your business credit, the right trade lines. Consistency is key. If you have your Experian report and you don't see these boxes, then that's not good, It's not a thing it's going to kill you or anything, but you want to have as much full, rich data as possible, just like you see here, your monthly payment trend and your quarterly payment trend. So this is 6 months versus this is 3 months, but you want to at least have your quarterly payment trend. The more information you can show that's on your report to the underwriter, you're going to have much better chances and higher chances, to get all these type of cards, right? So I'll get to the comments here in a minute, you guys. So you want to have on your experiences, this is your payment experiences, financial trades. So this is going to be like American Express or say your NAV Prime card, A to B gas card. You want to have at least ideally like 3 accounts here. And then the same as with the Small Business Financial Exchange. Okay. Now limits aren't actually disclosed to bureaus. So if you have like a $40,000 American Express business credit card, that credit card limit is not disclosed to the bureaus, right? It's going to be only what the recent high credit and the balance. That's what's basically making up your score, and that's what's important. And debt to income ratio, just like a personal, factors a little bit on the business side, but that's why if you have a balanced amount of trade lines and the right ones, not a whole bunch of these low-level starter vendor ones, then that can kind of balance things. And say if you have one open-end, say revolving line or commercial card, that's going to bring your scores down. But if you have the right mix, just like on personal side account mix, then that's going to help you kind of balance the score. But again, don't get hung up on the scores. If you focus on scores, you're not going to get very far when it comes to business credit approvals. Anyway, so just rule of thumb, you want to have 3 and 4 in each, type of category. So this is small business financial exchange trades. And this is like, it's not really a bureau. It's between, like, there's no way to pull your report directly with small business financial exchange. It's shared data from American Express, major banks, any major financial institution, basically anybody that has a banking license like MasterCard, Visa, or direct underwriter lender like Ford Motor Credit, Ally, ones like that. That's what you're going to see under the account type there. And a lot of times you're going to see, like, say, Nav Prime, you're going to see them both here, the same, basically. They may be categorized differently. One may say financial services, and then it may say term loan or commercial card here. It could be just a little bit different. But you're going to see usually it's going to say the same account number or very close. Like this one is 7444 and 3444, So just keep that in mind when you're looking at the reports. And then down at trade line experiences, these are continuous trades. This is going to be like Uline, eCredible, Nav, Fair Figure. This is where you're going to see this. GrowG, Coast to Coast Office Supply. That's where you're going to see those. And you do want to have, a wide variety of those, ideally 5 to 6 accounts on there. So like all in total, probably 10 to 12 if you want to have a solid profile, but you don't want them all at once, all in 1 month being reported, because you want to have that continuous payment trend data. That's this, because if you have a whole bunch of newly reported payment trends, you can see here, I mean, it's okay if you have a long-term plan in place, but if you're just like getting all these different trade lines, but you're just doing it just to build your business credit, that's the wrong way to do things. Okay. You should have like a goal and a plan in place and understand why you're getting this particular trade line. Don't get a trade line just to get it. Like, I hear so many different people getting every NAV recommended starter trade line, CEO Creative, JJ Gold, Office Governor, like all these, and they're just getting all of them. They don't understand there's not even reporting to Experian. Most of them don't. Experian's very hard to get reported to, so they focus on getting just as many trade lines as possible, and they don't realize it. But most of those, a lot of them don't even report, and the ones that do report, they're reporting to Equifax or CreditSafe. And that's fine. You want to get account mix on all the bureaus. However, if you have no purpose or no need to get an equipment leasing or auto loan, no PG auto loan, then don't put so much energy and focus in on getting all those different Equifax or CreditSafe trade lines. And in fact, if you get like all of a sudden 5 trade lines reporting to CreditSafe or Equifax, but then you only use them one time, that's actually going to hurt you. So it's better to have, I'd much rather have, say, one trade line that's reporting on Equifax that I'm actually needing to use, something that I can actually use for my business, and at least order like once every 60 to 90 days to show activity, than having 5 trade lines that, are being reported that I got just to get the trade lines. Okay? Like, think about it on the underwriter, and not just the underwriter, but the bureaus too. Like, if everything was so easy and you just get all these different trade lines, they're not stupid. They know what you're doing. So, like, think about it on that level. If you just have this whole bunch of trade lines are being reported, but then it shows activity date is like months, many months ago, that's just a red flag. They know what you're trying to do. So it's like you wasted all that time and energy and it looks unnatural. So it's much better to make things look natural on trade lines that you actually have a use for. Like say Quill, Quill, I buy the K-Cup coffees. They're like cheaper than Walmart. So, yes, it's for my personal, not business. However, that's something I can use that I'm gonna have to pay anyways out of pocket. So why not put it on as a net 30 and I'm getting that discount and 30 days to pay, and it saves me money. It's a win-win situation, right? So, and then you're probably not going to see the additional trade line experiences unless you're a really established old business, because this typically is like over several years. Okay. Uh, Business inquiries don't really matter either. I'm not saying go and apply for 20 things in one day, but it's not that important. Those aren't going to affect the score, I should say. Having a whole bunch of inquiries is not going to hurt your score like it is on, say, on the personal side where you take anywhere from 2 to 5 point FICO score drop, because of each inquiry. So that's not how it works on business. And then you're going to see like collection filings. Hopefully you don't have any. And UCC filings too. You're not going to see any of this as well. This is like insurance, stuff like that. Hopefully no judgments and hopefully no tax liens. But this is UCC filings. UCC filings are not a bad thing, but if you can avoid, don't have any. So like a lot of times merchant cash advances are going to file a UCC filing, and sometimes they don't release them, and that's I don't want to say it can hurt you, but it definitely doesn't help. So try to avoid taking any merchant cash advances out, period. That's where they do a weekly or daily draw from your business bank account. They sound great because they give you a big lump sum up front, but then it's like you drowned because you can never get ahead. Every day or every week, they're drawing from it. So, but Experian across the board, if you focus on building up your Experian business credit, the other three will kind of follow suit, And all the links too will be in the description below. Let's see here. So like this is Row. It's one of my business credit lines. You pay back, it's like net 30 basically. But the card limit on this is like 95,000, but they're pretty strict to get approved for. Like they want to see a lot of banking activity and a minimum spend of like 50,000 a month. And you guys, if any of you guys want to consult, please fill out this form here. I'll put it right there. Just go to the secure.businesscredit.cc/consult. It's just a quick basic form. You're going to fill that out. It's just your full name, business name, time in business, personal credit score range. If you don't know exact, just put, approximate, your phone number, email, and what you're trying to accomplish, and hit submit, and then I'll reach out to you. Okay. Let's see here. What was I going to get to? Okay, so like this one, I know it's hard to read, huh? This one was like one of my students got 100,000 limit approved on net 60 through Flex One. And then this was another one through Revenued. They approved for 195,000. This is just like my students in the last, say, like 30 days or so. September 25th. Another student, 30,000. Expensify card got approved for 81,000. This is another student. He does e-commerce. Or no, that's snow removal, I believe. Let's see here. This is what you're going to see in the client portal if you're one of my students. Let's see here. And then this is a $120,000 divvy approval through one student. What is it going to do here? Okay, so what is that here? Okay. So everybody also should get a BlueVine account, even if you're not going to be using it as your main account. Definitely get it. There's a benefit to that. Here's the link there, bluevine.com. Don't sign up with the main link because then you're not going to get that partnership deal that I have with BlueVine where they don't charge you anything and they waive all the, say, fees. Hopefully you don't get any NSF fees, but they waive all those fees and monthly maintenance fees using the link that we have. Okay. And then it helps support the channel as well. So it's bluevine.com/partner/GBC hyphen checking. But it takes 5 minutes to open up. And what's nice about it is after about a month or so, you'll get an invite to be able to get their BlueVine business credit card. And there's no annual fee, 1.5% cash back, and it reports to the business credit bureaus. Okay, it's revolving as well. The lowest my students have been able to get is like 3,000. The highest I believe is 18 or 19,000. But it's not an account that you can just get or a card you can just apply for without, you definitely have to have a BlueVine account already, BlueVine business checking account already. But what's nice about it is there's no hard pull at all, and it's underwritten through Coastal Community Bank. So it's definitely worth getting, okay? Not just that, but look at, they have a line of credit up to 250,000 working capital, and then a term loan up to 500,000. And then they also do SBA loans. What's nice about it is the more you start using the BlueVine business checking account, say you use it for, say you're doing Grab, or not Grab because that's here in the Philippines, but DoorDash or Uber, whatever it may be, it could be a side gig. Put it through your BlueVine business checking. Any of those gross deposit, that's going to help you qualify for these business loans. And you'll get an invite. You won't even, it's not something you really have to apply for. You'll get like an email, say after 30 to 90 days, saying you qualify for some working capital, you know. So it's almost like a revolving. So it's definitely, you know, worth getting, that's for sure. Okay. So you can see here, 29,000 of 30,000 your available credit. So, I mean, you can get, it's actually a term loan up to 250,000. A couple of my students have got this, but it's not something that you're going to get right out of the gate. You have to bank with them for sure. So that's why I have all my students, even if they're not banking with them, you know, when they start the mentorship, I have them get it as their secondary bank at least. Especially if you're doing like e-commerce or you're taking credit cards. Say you run through your Stripe or Square, being deposited into your BlueVine. So then that's going to help you get a working capital line through Stripe or Square. That's one option too that you're going to get. And then after a couple months, BlueVine's going to give you working capital. So it's like you double dipping in a sense. You could get working capital from both underwriters in a sense. So, and then again, you get the business credit card. You know, it doesn't report to your personal credit, and it doesn't even do a hard pull on your personal credit, only a soft pull. You do need to have over like 620 FICO score for the business credit card through Coastal Community Bank. However, to get the business financing, working capital, it's not a factor about your personal credit score. I have one student that got like 87,000 in working capital line with BlueVine. He does e-commerce and he has very bad personal credit, like in like 540, 550. He's working on cleaning that up, but he was able to still get it, the line of credit, because it's based on the transactions that's coming through. Okay. So everybody should get that. Like I said, I'm just gonna go over real quick before I answer the questions. Go through what you should do if you're just starting off building your business credit. That will give you a solid foundation. So after you get the BlueVine business checking account, you don't have to, but like I said, all the links will be in the description below as well. But I would say get that, and then get Fair Figure. Okay, this one you're going to get like 25 or 50% off. 50% off, I believe it is. The link is there, fairfigure.com/GBCA, if I'm not mistaken. But this reports to Dun & Bradstreet, CreditSafe, Equifax, and Experian, and can report to Small Business Financial Exchange as well. But when you get the premium account, this is what you're going to see. I really like their interactive user interface. Now, what's nice about it, too, this is something cool that nobody else has, okay? Where's it at here? The Credit Lounge AI, okay? These are AI podcasts based on your business credit, okay? So it's like AI looking at your business credit, and it's telling you, let's see if it's going to play or not. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear that? Maybe, no. No, I think maybe you can't hear it. But anyways, what it does is it's pretty cool. Basically, it's reviewing your business credit, and every month you're going to get your custom like AI overview talking about your business credit. Okay, so it's pretty cool. But anyways, the monthly fee for Fair Figure is, I believe, 35. But like I said, you're going to get a discount. But using that link, and the code is GBC50, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see the foundation report. Okay, so here's the maintenance here, and the condo's doing work. But anyways, hopefully it's not too loud. Hang on. Hopefully that's not too loud, you guys. But anyways, it's like upstairs there in the condo, they're doing like drilling. It's kind of annoying, so I'm gonna have to end this shortly. But anyways, I'll try to be quick about it and answer you guys' questions. Okay, so you definitely want to get Fair Figure because look, you're going to see all this. You're going to get not just CreditSafe, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet, but you're also going to see Experian here soon. So it's just like your NAV Prime, but you're going to see all the bureaus. Unlike NAV only reports to 3, I believe. So it's 4 with Fair Figure. Oh, this is annoying. I don't know. Can you guys hear that drilling they're doing up there? It's very annoying. It's hard to focus. I didn't get any notification that they're going to be doing this. But you want to definitely get Fair Figure Premium. Like I said, you're going to get 50% off that. That's going to get you a solid trade line reported to Experian and the other bureaus. Same, you want to get NAV Prime, but Fair Figure is like half the price. So, do what you will, but it's still, and you don't need to keep these long term, just like 3 months if you're just starting off, So get the NAV Prime. You don't need to get the $59.99 a month one. Get the one that's $49.95. You don't need this FICO score one. Okay. And then head over to eCredible, get the business lift. You don't need to waste the money getting the business lift plus. It's unnecessary. Just get the business lift. Okay. Again, that one, GBC 25, you're going to save like $5 off. So it's like $14.95 a month. Okay. And then go to Google and just type in Google My Business. So you want to get listed with Google. Let me see here. Let me show you. See, like Google My Business. You want the profile, okay? Like to show up, you know, like ABC Plumbing, let's just say. Okay, so it's like this, right? I'm in BGC, Metro Manila, but you guys can see here, it's like you want this to show up for your business. Okay, that's a citation. It's very important. Okay, so how to get that and register that is you're going to go over to Google and type in Google My Business, and then the link will come up, and then you just start and register your business. If you have an iPostal, this is not going to work, so avoid anything like if you have an iPostal address, you're not going to have good luck when it comes to building your business credit and getting things verified. Okay. And then after you get that confirmed, you're gonna, well, with the Google, you have to confirm it with a postcard as well. They're gonna send it to you, so it's not an overnight process. But after you get that, then go over to business, bbb.org, Better Business Bureau. And any of these ones that I'm telling you, don't do the premium, like sponsored listing or whatever. They're going to try to upsell you. Don't do any SEO or like sponsored or highlighted, featured listing. Avoid that. You don't need to pay anything. It's all free. Okay. You just need to verify your business. That's it. Okay. So you want to get listed with them. And then go over to Coast to Coast Office Supply. Again, all of these links, the ones that cost money, I have discounts for all of them, anywhere from 10 to 50% off. So definitely use those links if you want to save. If you don't want to, you can just go right to the website. But Coast to Coast Office Supply, register. Just keep in mind when you do the application, it's going to ask for Dun & Bradstreet. But if you don't have DNB number right now, or you don't know it, you're waiting, it's fine. Just put 000. It's fine. I talked to the manager or the founder, Paul. It's fine. So what's nice about Coast to Coast is they report to Experian. That's pretty rare for a starter vendor. Most don't qualify or they don't report to Experian. They do report to Experian. I have all my students get them. And it's just a experienced starter vendor to have, but not one that you need to use long term, okay? Just like a small amount, $50 to $75 does it, you know. And they report on the first of every month. And then Grogy, it's like they report to Experian and Equifax. It's net 30. So these net 30s, you don't have to pay for anything up front. The ones that charge money up front, avoid those. Those are not good if you have to pay something up front. Okay. Besides like NAV, Fair Figure, and eCredible, those are services, so those are fine to pay for upfront because they're providing a service. But if it's like, yeah, you know, a product company, says like, you know, Grogy and Coast to Coast, they're not charging money up front, and that's fine, you know. But the other ones that like charge money up front, avoid those. So this reports to Experian and Equifax. They report on the 14th of every month. So anybody that hasn't got this, we have a link as well. I believe it's 10 or 20% discount. And I believe it's like $30 a month. But what's nice about it is I'm going to have Danny, the founder, on here soon. We've been trying to schedule it for several months now. It's just I got sick, he got sick, and we're going back and forth, but it'll be soon. But it's like an AI as chat GPT built into it. There's project management. I'll just wait until he can tell you. But if you just sign up, I can tell you that right now. There's plenty of things to do. There's like business plan checklist, but at very least, there's things that you could tools with it that could help you for sure. And then you want to go over to listyourself.net/list yourself. You want to do the business listing. This is annoying. This is annoying. They're drilling at a condo up above me. It sounds like directly above me. So I'm gonna have to end this live in a moment. But just again, the link will be in the description for this too. But you want to register with the National Telecom Business Database. This is directly with like Synchrony. Synchrony does look at this, and Citibank looks at this. So if you're trying to get Costco or Sam's Club card, you could have all the good business credit in the world, but if you're not listed with the national telecom databases with, say, Comcast, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Spectrum, if you're not listed with those under as a business, then you're going to have problems. So you're going to get the information, business information is unverifiable. You're going to get that denial reason. Oh, it's so annoying. They're drilling. I'm going to end this after I read the questions here in a minute. I'm done here. Then go over to yellowpages.com, do the claim your listing. You're going to see that at the bottom of yellowpages.com or yp.com. Again, they're going to try to upsell you like a listing, a premium listing. Don't do it. Just say you want the free one, okay? Let's see here. And then we have this is like our client portal, but we have a new one. You're going to see this if you register. If you join my one-on-one business credit mentorship. We also have a course that I'm launching here soon too. But this is going to be the login, basically. And it's really nice. It's coming along. We're a little delayed, but, we definitely should be launching any time now. What was it? Okay. So this is what you're going to want to do if you want to get like a free phone consultation with me. Sorry guys, my head's like, I can't even think now. I have ADHD. I can't even think because the drilling they're doing, the condo association, they should have sent me a message and told me they were going to be doing this drilling. They usually do. It's kind of irritating they didn't tell me. But anyways, just fill this form out, and then we can get on a phone consultation, okay? Again, all the links should be in the description below. Let me go through this real quick. And I'm going to do another live stream tomorrow, you guys. This is irritating, all the drilling. You guys should be able to hear it. Okay. A&M Beauty, hi, how you doing? Let's see here. Can I get money 0% interest rate for my e-commerce business? It depends. It depends on many factors. Feel free to text me, but it's like I can't really flat out answer that definite without knowing more details. Jesus, my desk is even vibrating. Hey, Rod, you're here. I see that. Sorry, guys, I can't do this. It's like too annoying. This video will be on replay. I'll have it for replay, but I'll do another live stream tomorrow for sure. And I got several videos dropping tomorrow. But anybody, just text me 937-423-9954 if I didn't answer your question because I didn't get around to going through the chat to answer their questions because I can't think with this annoying drilling going on. It's quite rude. They didn't tell me they were going to be doing maintenance or something. But stay tuned tomorrow. I got more videos as well. I planned on going over a lot more this evening, but this drilling, I can't handle it. So Just text me, you guys, all right? Sorry again about this short delay or sound. Didn't expect it, but just text me, all right? I'll be back tomorrow.